know what's up with me and these reviews lately and why I can't seem to get them uploaded. I'm gonna just tell you, it takes me forever to watch Married at First Sight lately. I'm not sure why. Y'all send out prayers and good juju, positive vibes to me, okay? That I get it together. Like, really? What's going on? What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. I am your girl Talisa Rae. We are reviewing Married at First Sight season number 10, episode number 5, Cinco, Trouble in Paradise. So yeah, we're in Panama. We are on our honeymoon. If it's your first time here hanging with me, I like to go couple by couple. And so that you stay a while, I like to do the most tumultuous couples at the end. Watch it. I ask some questions, answer them. You're there, so subscribe, you know, be a ray of sunshine, that whole thing while I'm jibber jabber-jabber-ing. So Mika and Michael were the first couple we saw, but listen, we're not going to talk about Mika and Michael. They definitely have trouble in paradise. We're not going to talk about Zach and Mindy because there's a problem there as well. We're going to talk about, look at Jessica and Austin. I ain't got shit written down for Jessica and Austin except for they went to explore the island and went to an iguana farm. Like, that's what I have other than like their interaction, you know, at dinner and poolside. But literally, that's all I wrote. Listen, I guess I wasn't too enthused by them. I will say, well, no, we'll leave that for dinner. They do seem to be very close because what did they do? They went and had couples massages, had a spa day. So they seem to be enjoying one another's company. When you look at all the like snippets or the previews of what's coming up in the season, you never see them having real disagreements. So I really want to see what their dynamic is going to look like when they get home and they have to deal with their codependencies with their mom and twin sister. I mean, that's really it. Okay, so next let's go Katie and Derrick. Thought it was cute. They ate breakfast on the balcony. Listen, if you go and you travel somewhere and it's beautiful and you have a balcony, if it's not beautiful and it's raining and you covered, go and eat on the balcony. Enjoy the scenery, the fresh air. I got my nerves. I don't think I've ever been anywhere that would allow me to sit on the balcony. But I'm going to Hawaii in June. So what I thought was very clever of Katie right on early was to get him to help her care for herself. Not that she needed help putting the insulin in because she's been doing it by herself for 25 years, but just to see what his reaction would be if he does know how to be a caretaker, because, you know, being a diabetic, there's a lot of things that could happen. And so are you going to support me? Are you going to be here for me? How are you going to react? And Derrick keeps surprising. He keeps surprising me at this point. And I know y'all said that it's lust, whatever. We all start with some sort of attraction, some sort of lustful chemistry, and if you got that and it seems to be gelling well, you might can work through a lot of other things. Now y'all can disagree with me, but do that down below in the comments. He didn't get squirmish, he didn't feel no kind of way, honey. He injected that pin in her arm with no problem. It also shows that he's committed to the process, that he understands that I'm married and I can't just bail, and so there are things that I need to deal with as a husband for my wife, and I can handle it. So, okay, kudos, Derrick. Later on, when they came back from the pool, I thought to myself, he's really putting in a gallant effort because, you know, it was her birthday, right? What did she turn, 26 on her birthday? And they didn't really have time to celebrate because they got married and then they went on their honeymoon. But the honeymoon is like, yay, birthday, at least to me anyway. But he had decked the room out with, you know, rose petals and put them on the bed and had cake and wine for them to eat together, you know, and she was all like, I think tonight is the night that he makes me a woman. Okay, y'all know about that. You said you'd be gentle with me, and I hope you will. Not that she's a virgin. I'm nervous, probably, and trembling, waiting for you to walk in. Okay. I try hard to relax, but I just can't keep still. Ooh, no. Ooh, y'all know I can't sing. Yeah. Okay, whatever. But I like that song. I thought it was very cute that he blindfolded her, that there were rose petals. I can't remember if he had candles, but there were rose petals, there was cake, there was wine. They fed each other, and I thought, well, she can't have too much of that because her body does not make insulin. That is what a type 1 diabetic is. Your body does not make insulin, and that's why you have to inject yourself. So, girl, don't overdo it with the sweets, but I'm sure because the sweets and the wine, sugar, 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 sugar. Nonetheless, she was excited, and she said, I always wanted someone to make me feel special like this. I think as a mate, we all want that, male or female. And for men, they want to feel like they're needed. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, she appreciates me. She needs me to show her this type of affection. I also like that they validate one another. You know what I'm saying? Constantly showing each other that I like you, that I'm interested in you, that I like where we're going, I like where we're headed, I like, you know, the direction. You know, I really appreciate that, because even if we don't say it, we do need validation. We do need to know that everything is going okay, that you feel the way I do, that things are going well. Like, who wants to be in a relationship and everything's all fucked up and you don't know? Then boom, he gone. Nobody. So the last thing that happened was when they woke up on day 4, you know, after the cake and shit, they consummated. She was smiling. She was all smiles. He was all smiles. So it seemed like it worked out all right. And they did seem to be a tad bit closer now that they've experienced that. I'm hoping that it was enjoyable. I'm hoping. Baby, let me tell you, I don't know if I should go Mindy and Zach, and I keep thinking Mark and Mindy whenever I see the two of them together. Y'all might be too young for that. Or if I should go Brandon and Taylor, because Brandon was a total dickhead. Is that okay? Asswipe. Fuck off. Fucktard. This episode. So let's go with Zach and Mindy. Okay, because you know Mika and Michael, Eminem, they are going to be the last ones. So remember, last episode he had said he wasn't attracted to her, and what are you gonna do about that? Like, remember that? Remember that whole bust your face wide open? Remember she didn't want to go back in the room? Well, she wakes up in the bed with him, and he says, what are we doing today? After, of course, there's no spark. You know, I'm not attracted to you. I don't even think you cute. That's pretty much what he's saying. Y'all right? And then I wrote down here, Mindy might just be wanting too much too fast. You know what I'm saying? Evidently, he's not physically attracted to her. He does not think she's drop dead gorgeous, which is probably beneficial because now you have to get to know me and not just the way I look or my body or my sex appeal or whatever you're attracted to. You actually have to talk to me and get to know me and build some connection there. So really, Mindy should actually be counting her lucky stars, because really, had he been initially attracted to her right off top, she wouldn't have known that he was an asshole. She would not have known that he was a dickwad. She would not have known that he was a narcissistic, self-centered son of a... I don't know what this jumbled mess is I have written down, but I do know I said she's crying and she's showing some vulnerability. And really, does he deserve that? I mean, I feel like she should be able to articulate and communicate how she feels, and whatever the emotion is should come out because it is genuine. It is allowing her to be transparent. But also, I feel like in the next breath, like, he gonna see you as a pushover. Like, oh, you crying because you all into me already. I got you. Like, bruh. He is not that attractive to me. Like, there's some white men that I'd be like, oh, he could get it. He is not one of them. Okay? He might have Zeus's body. Like, he was, you know... chiseled by the gods, but he is not attractive. There's nothing attractive to me about Zach, and Mindy needs to get on board with that. You know, she apologizes because she didn't want to cry, and he's all like, you know, he understands. What do you understand? She's on the other side. You don't understand. You aren't showing any emotion, but your family told her right off the gate that he does not respond the way or react the way you would want him to, and it may be a problem, but you must be vulnerable and open. And he's going to eventually follow suit. Oh, okay. He says, you know, he needs, you know, he sees it as open communication and that he's just brutally honest. No bullshit. You're mean. because you could say things without saying them. Some stuff don't need to be said. If you don't find yourself attracted to her 8 weeks from now, then guess what? You get to get a divorce. But if you right now telling her right off, then that already shuts everybody down. What do you want her to do? Like, you want her to like put all this effort in to make you like her? Like, that's not cool. Like, I got to get off that soapbox. So they were gonna go, I don't know, have drinks, but then decided to have a beach blanket and some wine. And when she's talking, I'm hearing her, he's like, she's too serious, it's too many serious conversations, she needs to relax. Well, because she needs your validation. She needs to know, she wants to know how to please you, how to make you happy. And right now you don't know one another. So she's trying to verbalize that. And like he said, she does require words of affirmation. And if you know that, fuckboy, then why in the hell are you doing things to tear her down? Like, I just don't get it. I wrote down, I'm distracted by the little bugs on the beach. I don't know if they sand crabs or whatever, but I couldn't have sat on that beach blanket with them bugs crawling around like that. I would have been like, we're gonna have to go sit in the cabana, go sit at the restaurant. We can find a secluded little area to have a conversation, but this right here with these bugs little walking around and shit, yeah, no. She's good at communicating how she feels or whatever, but it's going in one ear and out the other. And when she said she just wants to make him happy, I thought to myself, no, make yourself happy and everything else will follow. Be your normal, fun-loving, carefree self. The people who love you and why they love you, be that person. And if he likes her, great. If he doesn't, fuck him. I didn't say 3-4 curse words already. Y'all don't get in your feelings, because I know some of y'all can't handle my cursing, you know, but today's a cursing day. Now, I like that she asked him, do you always lead with your looks? He acted like he was confused by what she was saying. I wasn't. And I was glad she pulled his card. Like, he be acting like he don't understand her. I understood. Y'all understood. Do you lead with your looks? Because honestly, you ain't that good looking. But she didn't think that, you know, she thinks that the world of Zach, that he is like literally a god to her. First off, you ought to think that you are the prize. Let's start there, Mindy. I'm the prize, and I don't care how handsome you are lucky to be in my presence, to be sitting with me, that they have matched you to marry me. I am the prize. Once she can get that in her head, then she winning. Other than that, she gonna always be behind the curve. Always. And then before she said it in her confessional, I said, what is he talking about? This is when he started talking about you need words of affirmation and blah, blah, blah. I was like, he is talking in circles. He is making no sense. You know what? Maybe he's not that bright. Maybe that's why he don't understand where she's coming from or what these emotions are, because he's not that bright. He just talks to hear himself talk. Throw in a couple big words to make you feel like, oh, I know some stuff, but really has no substance behind him. Catch it while I'm throwing it. Y'all know it to be true. In his confessional, he said, I like people to be laid back and to be relaxed, and she's so serious. And I thought to myself, now you telling the producers this, you letting us know this, but you did not let Mindy know when she's asking you, what is it that you want? What is it that I can do to help bridge this gap, to loosen things up? He should have said, these serious conversations is killing me. I need you to be laid back and relax and just enjoy the moment, and let's get to know each other organically. Like, that would have helped her immensely. But no, he don't want to tell her that. He want to tell the producers. I don't know why I have written here wasted space and time. This is what happens when you watch a show on Thursday but don't record until Monday. Anyway, they go to the Mbeta Village tour. And, you know, they see how Panamanian, native Panamanian, indigenous people live and how they craft. And she makes a basket. They seem to be gelling and vibing really well at this particular time. They go and they look at the trees. Like, nature does something to me. It brings me closer, you know, with God. It makes me feel in tune with my spirit. So maybe that's what they were feeling. Maybe that's what Zach needed. Because she asked him, what did he enjoy about today? And he said, you. She needs that validation. You know, he said I enjoyed being in your company and with you, because she was in a different element. She wasn't really concerned or worried about this, that, or the third. Okay? Now, I do know that she's a talker and he's not. And she overanalyzes everything, and sometimes we need to just pull up from that, ladies. I mean, Zach is an asshole, but nonetheless, I feel like we do talk a lot and we don't listen enough. Like, if she would stop talking and stop analyzing, it would force him to have to communicate how he feels or something, or y'all be sitting in silence with crickets. You gotta learn to be comfortable in the silence. Like, I could be quiet and sit in the same room with somebody for hours and not feel nothing because I'm comfortable with me and the thoughts in my head and what I got going on. Like, I'm okay with that. I've got more on them for dinner. Okay, so we'll get to there in a second. Let's get into this whole Brandon and Taylor ordeal. Okay, let's just step into it. But before I go any further, that wig is so horrible. Like, it's so bad. It looks like it's a synthetic wig that keeps getting wet. Like, you need to get online and maybe go to Keisha Kayor's. Is it Keisha Kayor? It's not Keisha Kayor. I don't know. It's one of them. The whole bunch of people got good hair. Go to Portia from the Housewives. Go get you some hair and get a wig created from there. Listen, even wild African wigs, when they get wet, look better than that. Like, somebody, where's your friends to tell you that this wig ain't it? I know you like that style, but you can get that style and color with some better hair. All right, let me get off that soapbox. When the episode opens up, you know how they switch from couple to couple to couple to couple? I saw when he was irritated, because he was irritated, really overreacted to, kind of bitch-like if you ask me. But she was filming, he was snoring, and you know, they married, and she filming, and he wakes up to it, and he's a little startled by it. You do see that he's startled. You also see that he's a little annoyed by it at that particular point. I wrote it down before we got any further, okay? And I thought to myself, oh, okay, he's annoyed because she got up and started talking to him. And, babe, Brandon, do you want to go parasailing? You know, she's trying to make small talk. And when I say this fool is ignoring her, baby, listen, what we doing? We in high school? You married now. I'm your wife now. You got to communicate. How are you just going to shut down and go invisible? Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I tell y'all all the time that I will shut down if I don't like what's getting ready to come out of my mouth. However, I'm going to give you the courtesy of saying, listen, I need you to give me a few moments. Give me a few moments to gather myself. Give me a minute. I'm okay right now. Give me a minute. Let me process it. But I'm going to vocalize that. I'm not going to just shut down. That's not what you do when you're married. 3 C's. 3 C's. Communication, compromise, and commitment. He's already failed communication, okay? Because he is not communicating why he's feeling like this. And it's got Taylor feeling some kind of way. It has her feeling neglected, dejected, unwanted. That is not how you want your brand new wife you just met to feel. Because I'm going to be out. So pretty much all day long, he's got his whole bitch assness going. All day long. Ignoring her. She said that she tried to give him a beer. He said he didn't want it. It was his favorite beer. He didn't want it. 5 minutes later, he in the pool with the beer. Now, tell me how silly is that? Like, oh yeah, I'm mad at you, but you can run me that beer. I mean, she's literally trying to communicate and make it work. She's giving an olive branch, trying to understand. And I think that he at least owed her something. Listen, babe, I need a few minutes. I didn't like something you did this morning, but I need to process it and I need to get into a better space. He owes her something, okay? So, you see him at the pool. We'll come to that in a second. And then we see them alone. And this fucktard, y'all, several curse words. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm not. He finally explains what bothered him, and it was the camera. He said he had a panic attack, that he was anxious. Because he didn't know her and he didn't know what to expect. How about just say, stop recording me? Don't record me like that. I don't know. Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't record me yet. Don't record me while I'm sleeping. You just been watching me while I'm sleeping. It's weird. Listen, I had a boo once that had said we would start off maybe sleeping face to face. I always turn my back anyway. But he would turn his back and I'd be like, and he'd be like, well, I don't want you to suck the air out of me. I said, what kind of voodoo shit you been watching? Okay? Listen, because if I am doing any type of witchcraft, any sorcery, I'm surely not sucking the air out of you. I ain't trying to kill you. That ain't my spirit. Like, what? So, because cats, they say the myth is that cats suck the air out of babies' breaths because they're going for the smell of the milk. They're trying to get the milk, so they're sucking and licking on the baby, is what they say. So I was like, okay, fool. So I get you having certain quirks about you, but because I don't know you, you need to be communicable. You need to communicate. You need to be communicative. Whichever one of them words work better, that's what they need. You need to converse with me, have a conversation about what you don't like, and not wait a whole damn day later before we go to dinner. So, but I do give him credit for apologizing and owning up to it. Like, this is not how I should have acted. This is not the right behavior for anybody. So I give him credit there. But for the reason and the way he treated her was just not acceptable. And then I wrote down that I didn't like that Taylor discounted the way he was feeling. Okay, you might call bullshit on it, but nonetheless, he said he had a panic attack, and she said, well, that's weird. He was like, that's not weird. Well, it is a little weird, but at that time, it's not the appropriate time to, tell somebody that their idiosyncrasies are weird or unacceptable. It's just to take it for what they were. So I didn't like that. Now, I do like the fact that they were finally able to sit down and talk things through, and that he really owned his shit like a million times. Like, he said it over and over and over again that he apologized. And when she was even becoming more irritable, seemed a little irrational when she was. I can't really remember what it was, but I remember the interaction. I thought that he handled himself when she was like, and I'm not going to be talked to like that. I'm not going to be disrespected. I like the way he handled himself. I like that he was like, you know what? I apologize. I own my shit. You're right. I understand that I'm in a marriage now and I can't react the way that I normally would, that I have to communicate how I'm feeling. So I did give him a round of applause for that, even though I felt like the reason that he was upset was really childish. Like, just say it. Girl, don't put that camera in my face. Even get mad. Don't put the camera in my face. Don't do that to me while I'm sleeping. What? Like, that's weird. That's what he should have said. That's weird. Because I don't know you. Now, when they went to the sloth farm or whatever that thing was they went to the next day, she kept throwing digs at him. Even after she said she forgave him and she moved forward, she was just throwing digs like the sloth, she's moody. Oh, sounds like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It was just 2 or 3 digs that I just didn't like. And I'm going to just say, this is my point of view. If I'm forgiving you for something, if we've talked about it, we've come to an understanding, I forgive you, I have to move past it. I can't keep revisiting it. That's not healthy. That means you have not actually moved past it. It's too soon. Like, it was just the next day. Y'all just back on the man. Prime example, if somebody cheats on you and you decide, I'm going to give him a second chance. You cannot give him a second chance and keep throwing it up in his face. It's just a no. If you know that it's going to be something that bothers you, then you have to leave that relationship, because you are never going to move past it. It is not healthy. You have not healed. And it's the same concept no matter how big or small. At least that's what I say. What y'all think? Did y'all think he overreacted? Do you think that she didn't pick up on it? Like, she should have picked up on it. I did. She should have immediately been like, oh babe, I'm sorry, is it the camera? Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think about that down below in the comments. And then one other thing, when it was them by themselves, he decided to do something romantic for Taylor. He also sprinkled flowers on the floor leading to the bathtub, put a heart on the bed for her, got some champagne, put some candles out. The candles are always a nice touch. And had on his just married swim trunks. Told her to put hers on. And, they seemed very comfortable together. The tub was too little for them to be face to face in the tub like that. You got to turn around. She has to be in between his legs. But not that I know anything about that, okay? I'm just saying, it was a kind gesture. They moved forward. She likes him. He likes her. So let's see how they develop, what goes on further. Okay, let's talk Michael and Mika. Eminem, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Miss Unforgiving herself. Anyway, so y'all remember last episode, they didn't sleep in the same room together. When she wakes up, she's like, I didn't sign up to be in the bed by myself. Alright. Well, when he walked out the door and said that he was going to give y'all some time, you should have said, you know what, just stay in the living room. I mean, we're going to have to figure it out. Don't leave. But this shit don't get better. It gets worse. They're both feeling some type of way. They're both feeling like, you know, it was, you know, things got heated. It was a mistake. He did kind of start owning up to his part in it, kind of, sort of, maybe. And I wrote down, again, the 3 C's. They need to at least start to do 2 of the 3 C's, which is to communicate and to compromise. But they might as well do commit to. I mean, you're already in the process. You need to commit to the process. But right now, I just wrote 2 out of 3. They need to work on the communication and their being able to compromise with one another. We don't see eye to eye, but we have to figure out how to meet in the middle. We are 2 strangers that have gotten married. So we need to figure out what it is we can do to move forward. But what happens is Mika's only 26. And she's already set in her ways, and she's already like controlling. It's my way or the highway. Say what I want to say, or nothing at all, or we need to move forward. You know, it's just she's unforgiving and unwavering in her beliefs. I don't know when it was, if it was before or after the pool, when Mika called Pastor Cal, you know, and just she needed to talk to somebody about how she felt, and needed to explain the situation and what was happening. And how he didn't sleep in the room and what was said, you know. If we don't have sex in the next 8 weeks, then while we're on the honeymoon, then we ain't gonna make it. You know, and the more I think about it, because he says that he's just blunt and direct. The more I think about it, he didn't know how to say what he wanted to say. Like I don't think it really meant to come off as harsh and as bad as it did, because it did. It took everybody aback. But I think that he really wanted to say, I need to see if we build some chemistry. No. I'm sorry. I think when he talked to Pastor Cal, he said to Pastor Cal, I wanted to just see what her likes and dislikes were about sex. Now, at least that's what I heard. Now, if I didn't hear that right, I'm sure y'all get me straight down in the comments. But that's what I heard. And that is a conversation that you have. You have sex talks before you ever have sex. Because communication and knowing what I like and what I don't like is important before we go and climb in his bed. So I'm kind of wondering, was it just a conversation? Was it just a conversation of, what do you like? Because he still stands with, I don't want to make her have sex with me. So was it just the conversation and she didn't receive it well and he didn't give it right? Like, I'm curious. I'm wondering. Now I can't wait to see more. I really want to see, you know, how it ends at the end. Like, just for the reunion, just for this particular conversation. Because I really want to know verbatim what the fuck he said. Like, so that I could be like, because right now I'm just going off of, well, he said I had to have sex with him before we leave the honeymoon. And so that sounds bad, but I really think that there's more to it. Like, we're getting bits and pieces. So he should have said the shit on camera so it could have been clear for everybody to know what he said. Pastor Cal did say that he didn't think that that aggressiveness was really Mike's behavior. That she should give him a chance and that they should just start off as friends. Go back to the beginning. Y'all don't know each other. Start back at the basics. Don't give up. Now we paired the 2 of you together for a specific reason. And then I wrote down, ding, 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 ding. It's only been 3 days, girl. Slow down. Slow down. I can't take the heat. Slow down. Okay. I don't know if somebody said this or if this was me having an epiphany. I wrote, give up control for compromising. I wrote that. I don't know if it was him or if that was some epiphany that I had on my own. And so here's where I wrote, Pastor Cal called Mike, and the way he explained it to Pastor Cal, he was just trying to communicate what he wanted with sex. Where she was sexually, her sexual maturity. Like, he didn't want to have another Iris, is what I wrote. But it makes sense. Like I said, those are conversations that we have. And I really wish this was something that he had done on camera so we all could have been like, either you, ooh, that's fucked up, or oh, she overreacted. Because right now, it's just that we know that what she said is what he did, but we didn't like the way that she discussed it with him. Like, so then there's some time at the pool, and then the guys and the girls are separate. You know, we'll come back to that. And they finally have a one-on-one time They finally figure out we need to talk, and it's time to broach the subject. It's time to get uncomfortable and have a conversation. I wrote down, she is too aggressive. And again, my favorite adjective with her is unwavering. It's too much. Like it's too, you know what I'm saying? It's too like, I don't care what you have to say. It's about what I want and not about you, what you want. That's not what she said, but that's the attitude behind her tone. I hope that makes sense. But here's when we find out that the fool ain't wearing his ring. She said, I noticed you haven't been wearing your ring. And he said, I don't feel like I've disappointed myself. I haven't held up to my standards of what I think a husband should be. Well, first off, you don't have any type of reference point. You don't have any type of reference point to go from. So what do you know about being a husband? Especially to a woman for 3 days. The wrong thing to do was to take that ring off your finger, because now you're no longer committed to this process. Now you have given up. You have just lost the third C, which is commitment. So not only can you not communicate, not only are you guys not compromising, but my nigga, you decided that you weren't committed to this process until you did the work that you needed for yourself. How selfish is that? I am proud of her taking her ring off and saying, so I'm walking around here like a single woman. I mean, like I'm married and you walking around like you single. Well, when you ready to put your ring back on, you let me know, because I'm taking mine off too. I just didn't understand the logic. I understood what he was saying, but the logic of it, taking his ring off, just made no damn sense to me. Like, that was stupid. Like, why would you do that? Like, she really ain't gonna trust you and really ain't gonna want to be with you and really ain't gonna try to make no effort, because you've already thrown in the towel on day 3. Are you kidding me? Somebody tell me that the producers just told him to do that. Somebody tell me that. Somebody told me, you know, because I don't know if y'all ever been on TV. I mean, I've been on a couple shows and they do give you some guided direction. So please, somebody tell me that that's the case, that that's what happened. Now, the one thing they did end up doing is agree to get to know each other first and to be friends. And his dumb ass was like, I don't want to be friends with somebody that's my wife. What? Like, you didn't understand what she was saying? You would want your friend, you would want your wife to be your friend, your best friend. You would want your wife to have that type of energy with you, because it would make your relationship a lot better. Like, Michael is kind of fucked up in the head. I promise I won't curse as much next time, but this time we cursing. Okay, so let's talk about when these couples are all together. It seems like they're spending more time together than they have in any other seasons. But I do believe that Dr. Pepper, I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you know? I think she did make mention of it. So let's talk about the meetup with all the honey, I was like, everybody is having issues except for Derrick and Katie and Jessica and Austin. But all the other 3, so more than half of the couples are having some type of marital issues. And we only 3 days in. It's awkward. I don't know if somebody else had made mention that everybody would, that it seemed that Brandon and Taylor had seemed to be off. But then here comes Mika. She walks up all by herself. And it gets quiet. It gets awkward. People start asking, where's Mike? Where's your husband? And she pretty much is saying, I don't know. I guess he's napping. I haven't seen him. Like, alluding to what's happening in their relationship. And so, Jessica, who things seem to be going well for, straight up ask her. And Mika, you know, at this point is kind of keeping it to herself. You know what I'm saying? At this point, she's not spilling the beans in the group with everybody. So at this point, I'm all like, okay, so maybe she is cut out for marriage. Like, maybe. She's like, she wrote, I'm on my honeymoon and my husband is AWOL. I was like, girl, bye. Do you remember how you guys left? Do you remember how aggressive you were in speaking with him? Do you remember the tone? Do you remember it wasn't degrading, but it was very demeaning. You were looking high, looking low on your high perch at him. Do you remember any of that? He went AWOL. He went AWOL because it was too intense. Okay, so they all go around in a circle and talk about how they're vibing and what's going on. And you see Austin and Jessica and Katie and Derrick all giddy and shit about the prospect of their relationship. You know, he's awkward and quirky like me, and we're finding out that we have things in common. You remember, like cheese. They both like all kinds of cheeses and think people that don't like cheese are weird. Some people don't like cheese because they're lactose intolerant and they don't like the way it makes them feel, okay? I like cheese though, I'm just saying. When they get around to Mindy and they ask Mindy, and Mindy says, she's funny. Mindy says, you know, yeah, we're finding out that we have things in common, like the same moisturizer. Bitch! I was like, come on, Mindy. Be honest. You ain't got to share everything, but they got it when they heard we got the same moisturizer. They didn't say we like the same movies or read the same books or, you know, like to do a lot of the same outdoorsy things. No. She said we got the same moisturizer. And he was embarrassed. Yeah, because you taking care of yourself better than she is. We already know she don't like taking showers. Oh, have mercy. Brandon had made a quick little sly remark about being freaked out by her. I was like, so you could speak it here in this environment, but not directly one-on-one with me? And we're walking down halls and getting on elevators and sitting in rooms and having breakfast, and you telling me you can't communicate it with me? Like, I was like, you know what? At this point, I was like, yeah, no. Then here comes Mike. He walks up. It gets quiet, it gets awkward, it gets weird. You can sit with me, says Derrick. And you know, he leans back in between Derrick's legs. And you know, it's kind of weird. I don't know you. And what, you know, I know it was in jest, but as his wife, I would have been looking like, well, maybe that's why you don't like me, because I'm not what you like. You could like what you like. I just ain't it. Like, it made me a little uncomfortable. I mean, you know, I am heterosexual. Not to say that I'm against anything or anybody else's lifestyle. I'm just saying that as his wife, if that's not what I know about you and that's what I know you like, because there are relationships that are like that, I would have been taken aback. Judge me, don't judge me, I don't care. And I wrote down at this particular point, you should pull your wife out of this group and go have a conversation with her. Don't make things continuously awkward. So then they go and they separate. The men with the men, the women with the women, and they have conversations. They have real candid conversations about what's going on in their relationships, okay? Katie, I'm glad she said something when she found out that he had never been in love, that it worries her. Because how do you know if you're going to be in love with me or if we're going to work? So I'm glad that she brought that up, which means she's not as absent-minded as we may think, that she's not so in lust right now, that she's not thinking about some red flags. And that is a red flag. If you've never been in love, how are you going to know that you love me? How are you going to be able to show that, let it emit from your spirit? How? If you don't know what it feels like, looks like, sounds like, walks like, how? Derrick makes mention that he's developing a strong like for her. There's a strong like occurring. Okay, Derrick, are you going to be able to know when it goes from like to love? Because some people fall in love rather quickly. I wrote down here from Austin, he said it was a match. All right. When they get to Mindy, Mindy says, fuck my life. I was like, Mindy. Oh, Mindy, get you a backbone, hoe. The nigga don't like you, so you like you, right? That's what I said. And he said it needs to be built up. He didn't even feel anything on the first kiss. Y'all said that though. Y'all said that. He's a total asshole. And he doesn't want it to just be sex, you know, want it to be, well, let's have sex to build this attraction. But he wants it to be, you know, something organic. Okay, great. But really, you didn't feel nothing when you kissed her? Then you should have kissed her on the cheek. Because you said you like her dark hair and her dark eyes, but evidently you don't find her attractive. I think she's an attractive girl. I think that her teeth are kind of big for her mouth, and that might be a thing. But other than that, she's a very attractive woman. So Brandon, he says, yeah, me and Taylor are real comfortable with one another right now, that we are walking around naked. I said, naked? I mean, you can tell she got a body for the gods, but I was like, y'all just walking around naked? It's been 3 days. Y'all ain't nothing happened yet? Ain't nothing happened. Because, you know, they said, the sex conversation is brought up, and with the fellas, and you can see that Mike is a little bit uncomfortable because of the simple fact of what's happening between him and Mika. That is the conversation that caused an issue. But here's where he said he wants to wait until she's comfortable. Okay, but he doesn't mention anything else about, you know, he doesn't mention anything about their conversation. But I believe that she had said something already. I actually wrote, he said he wants to go slow. And then I wrote, nigga, you wouldn't be where you are today if that was the truth. You are a liar, liar, pants on fucking fire. That's what I wrote. He just doesn't want to share. And I get that. He could have just said, we're having some difficulties in this area. And let's share it at another time after I've worked it out with my girl. Furthermore, he did say, I feel like our issues are our issues, and that I didn't need to share it with everybody. Mika didn't feel like that, honey. Mika shared it, honey. She shares what he said with the women, and of course they were all appalled, disgusted, like, how dare he? You can't force me. But listen, here comes Taylor with the voice of reason. Though we don't like Mike right now, we need to just make sure to look at the positive. You know, give him the benefit of the doubt, try and get to know him. It is a new relationship. So I was real proud of her. I was like, okay, level head. It has to have one person to be rational. And that one person last year was, what's Greg's wife's name? I can't think of. Anyway, it was her. Now, Mike said something that was very intriguing. How do I figure out how to give you love and get what I want as well? And I don't think he was meaning sex, but sex is definitely a part of it. Okay, so now here we are. It's dinner. I think it's day 4 maybe of dinner. Oh wait, let me back up. In the pool, Mika, who don't want to talk about sex and don't want to do nothing with sex, talks about who consummated their wedding, and then made the assumption that it would be Jessica because she's smiling, and Taylor. Then they asked Katie, and Katie said nothing yet, but hopefully tonight. But I just really thought, mind your own business and worry about your own shit. Why are you worried about whether or not they consummated their wedding, their marriage, and you don't even want to talk about it? You don't even want to fix the situation that you had going on. Girl, sit down. Sit down and be quiet. Observe, okay? You ain't got to talk because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So here we go. We're at dinner now. And I want to say it's day 4. And the progression of marriage conversation happens. Now, Mika and Mike are at dinner together. Neither of them have their rings on, okay? Everybody is there because remember, they're now, maybe it's the same day, I'm not sure. Whatever it is, they're moving towards building their friendship. Mika, I wrote down, is super negative and talks about it being forced. That their relationship is forced, that she doesn't like that it's how it feels, and how can I be with somebody that I don't trust. And my whole thing is, as she's going through this and this man is sitting next to her, she's talking as if he's not there. She's talking again as if she's unwilling to move forward and to forgive. She is unwavering. At this point, I'm all like, homegirl, did you just call it quits? Because everything out of her mouth does not say she's moving forward as friends. Everything says, you know what, we're still in the same place that we were this morning. We didn't have a conversation. We didn't come to an understanding. None of that. And so I don't like her behavior, her conversation, her tone. There's a way to say what you want to say without saying it so abrasively. I felt, even though we all agree that Mike was wrong, I just feel like her delivery is so wrong on so many levels. And again, it is because you don't have a good example of marriage and how people talk to one another, or even successful relationships. It seems like we don't know the deal with mom, but you didn't see a boyfriend at the birthday party when she announced that she was gonna be on Married at First Sight. And I might be jumping the gun and y'all might be disagreeing with me, but you know where I want you to do it at? Down below in the comments. When Mike begins to talk, because Derrick said, I see you don't have your ring on. And when he starts giving that shitty ass response about not living up to the husband that I want to be, and until I'm ready, I don't want to. Everybody is looking at him in awe with their mouth open like, this sounds like a bunch of bullshit. You're already married, as Derrick said. You're married, you're committed, you might as well wear the ring. Like, it makes no sense. So I can't wait for them to get back to the States and Dr. Viviana, Dr. Pepper, or Pastor Cal gets in his ass about not having this ring on. They need some serious one-on-one counseling and then couples counseling together. Same thing I said about all the couples last year. I still mean that today, this year, with this season. Brandon, and they ask who's, finally done it or whatever, right? And Brandon is like, well, no, we've been to first base only. First base only. First base, I've been in first base for a long time. Mindy and Zach, she said, we're going slow and steady. And she did sound a lot more confident and sure of herself. Like she's finally realizing I'm the catch and you're lucky to have me. And then she got all giddy. Zach kissed me. Girl, why you go back to that? When did Zach kiss you? Because all I've been seeing is fist bumps. Fist bumps. Like the conversation in the hotel room after the visit to the village. He was going to clink the wine. You was going to fist bump. Y'all need to figure out how to get on the same page. It's that easy and simple. And he just always seems like he's condescending and condemning her for doing something that is outside of what he thinks is right. Oh, it's not time for a fist bump right now. It's a time and a place. And you get to choose when the time and the place is? I think not. We're going to fist bump, my nigga. Like, Katie and Derrick say that they did it. That they consummated their marriage, honey. That that they've moved forward is what they said to the next step of their relationship. What's funny is, though, Jessica and Austin, they say we have been intimate, but don't go into details. Oh, they did it. Oh, they done screwed, honey, and it was good, okay? They both was ready to pop. So they said, let's just get it over with. Let's see if we like it. Even after Jessica said that, in the beginning, oh, no, I'm not that kind of girl. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. If I am, y'all let me know down below in the comments. But I really feel like Jessica and Austin have done the do. So that concludes all of episode 5. Listen, I'm still in the same place. I still, in the order that I feel like they are going to make it. I'm going to go Jessica and Austin. I'm then going to go Katie and Derrick. And then at this point, if I had to choose, I'd go back to Brandon and Taylor, Zach and Mindy, and then finally Mika and Mike. But the last 3, I don't know. I don't know if they have any hope, but we need to just keep watching and seeing where we go. Y'all, let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments. I really feel like they should stretch out the seasons. Maybe season 5 could have been them introducing the couples, and for 8 weeks them getting to know each other and going to counseling and all of that, and then season 6 be them actually being married to see if it was successful, etc., etc. And it wouldn't necessarily have to be 8 weeks, but 8 weeks would be good. That's a lot of time for some things. I don't know, y'all. Let me know down below in the comments, because this social experience, this season is surely a shit show. For sure. No questions asked. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, season number 10, episode number 5, Trouble in Paradise. If it's your first time visiting my channel, you should be clicking the subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. You should also click the notification bell so you're alerted like, boop, she finally uploaded her review. And lastly, because you like me and I know it's real, give me a thumbs up, hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video.